Do you guys remember the tasty brew from the last meta, Magic Man? Well, it caused a bit of a stir for being a crazy combo deck that I discovered late in the meta, abusing the interaction between In the Groove, which is a weird card that scales your draw and econ to your installs per turn, Illumination, which is a way to get many installs off of a single click, and Picha Chow, which is a way to convert installs straight into clicks. Well, Vantage Point is here, and I have been cooking up a storm. Behold! Mega Magic is a new refinement on the previous list with a bunch of new stuff, a bunch of changes, and it's just way better. So the new source that we're looking at is the 3 copies of Read, Write, Share, which is a new card that's pretty targeted towards like kind of weird shaper combos because it kind of draws you 4 for no money, which is amazing, except it doesn't draw you 4 because that would be annoying for hand size because what are you going to do with all those things? You can shuffle those 4 back in when you're ready to go. You can do a lot of weird stuff with this, but it just like churns you through your deck extremely quickly and you can install it off Maggie. It's just amazing. We've also got a copy of Stowaway, so the combo now prints infinite money, basically, while it does its thing, meaning that you can easily trash the whole deck if that's something that you need to do, and just money is quite useful. Refinements has been done. A Gachapon is in. It's just an efficient way to bring out a bunch of installs that don't use MU in the early game, so you can install your MU and then Gachapon, and you can pop Read, Write, Share, and then pop Gachapon to make sure that you know exactly what you're hitting. There's a Super Corridor in here, which you probably haven't seen in very many decks before because it's one of the worst cards in the entire game. But we really like it. It's got 2 MU, it's got an extra hand size, so we can hold even more of our combo pieces safely. Sometimes you get 2 credits from it. Don't count on it. I mean, I have gotten sometimes more than 2. Sometimes I get like 10 credits in a game, but that's pretty unusual. Most of the time, this is just a very big T400, and that's fine. And other than that, we're still doing the like fundamental combo with a bunch of pieces that make it more consistent. We've got 3 chromatophores. We've got Monkey Wrench in case like melee SU is doing high strength stuff. Obviously, the 2 extra credits each turn, like each run from Stowaway is massively helpful. Got a Gauss for tech. We've got Hushes for, maybe a Fly Swatter, maybe a Event Horizon, anything like that. We've got some reads to rearrange things that we might have installed throughout the game. We've got an Ashen Epilogue to shuffle the illuminations back in once we've done it. And yeah, let me play some footage for you real quick. So here we are with Magic Man. I'm playing on stream at the Reading District, which happened a few days ago, as of when this video was released, I must imagine, assuming I edit in time. You can see I've started on turn 3, we're clicking through to turn 4. I've got this on 10x speed. I've got read write shares that are eating up cards in my hand to churn me through my deck. Meanwhile, my opponent BTL has a robust remote server. I'm just never going to get in there, meaning they can install double advance on turn 5, their basalt. I'm not even going to contest. I'm just going to keep setting up. Passes over to them. They score out their basalt turn 6. This is as fast as the deck can go. You can't like win faster than this. They install a card in the remote server after I finish this turn, I believe, which is presenting like the next threat. And that is the signal to me that it is time to start comboing, because that could be a above the law, which would be annoying because it trashes my Tulu. So it's turn 7, and I think for a moment on how I'm going to do this. This is like the longest, I guess, I spend not taking actions, and then everything comes out. So I'm going to use tokens to track my clicks. So ignore the click tokens in the top. The black tokens are my clicks. Conduit comes down, I'm popping Gachapons, I'm shuffling my read writes in at very specific times because I've used 1 read write for installables, 1 read write for my events that I need later. The white tokens represent 1 MU, and I'm just scattering them amongst my programs. It's very hard to track, and I think there were some mistakes made at some points in the game, but I have called the judge over to watch everything so that things can be a bit smoother. And to make sure that I don't accidentally cheat or make any mistakes. So you can see me tracking my MU very carefully. Got my hand. There's basically many hands in this game. I'll explain that later. I also make a mistake here hosting this Euler on the Muse. There was a way to get the Euler down without the Muse, which would have saved me an MU. They res a Winchester and an Event Horizon. Event Horizon is hushed. They both host chromatophores, and the innermost ice is too expensive to res. It's a logjam. He's only got 5 credits. And I start doing the combo. I start playing Illuminations. I start Pichachowing. You can see my clicks in the top left flickering, in the, I suppose, bottom middle flickering in and out as I run through, get the Pichachows back, adding them back and forth. You can see my credit total ticking up as each stowaway gives me 2. This is new. This is a great feeling because now I basically have infinite money. I play the Ashen Epilogue, and you'll notice there that I actually left a illumination on the table. This is a big mistake. This was something that we had to resolve with the judge because I had an illumination in play. Then I played a Ashen Epilogue immediately after, meaning that the illumination was not allowed to be shuffled in. I end up getting the unfavorable ruling, which I think is correct, because otherwise it's favorable to make a mistake, and I think that's not right. So the unfavorable ruling is that the illumination there was going to be shuffled in just gets trashed, so I'm down 1 illumination. This is a bad combo for that reason, but that's fine. I eventually make a dig, and you can see I just basically see most of R&D and see the entire thing. Well, not actually the entire thing on turn 7. I see most of it. I'm down 1 illumination, which is 3 clicks. So I see a few fewer cards than I could do maximum. But turn 7, I steal... there we go. We see how deep I could almost have gone. And I would have gone deeper than that with the extra illumination as well. So I see everything on turn 7, and I instantly win. Despite there being 3 ice, one of them is an Event Horizon on R&D. I think this showcase that this deck is robust. BTL has ice that should be difficult, but it's just not for me. I made mistakes. That was not optimal, both in terms of the Ashen and the Muse having to host the Oiler was very annoying. But doesn't matter. I did it anyway. And yeah, this was against Motion Blur, who's a really good player as well. So this is not like a chump check. I will say this deck is good. It's like not great, but it's good. It's I went 4-1 at Reading against some of the best players in the UK. This only loss was to an Ob that kind of high rolled and won on turn 6. You can't easily win on turn 5 with this deck. I've never done it that early, but turn 6 is possible. Turn 7 is very, very reasonable, and turn 8 is like the latest that you should be expecting to combo. If you can't combo on turn 8, it's pretty over for you. So you've probably got some questions. Firstly, in the title of both this video and also of the deck list, you say that it's the hardest deck. Why is this the hardest deck? Well, it's because you have a million hands. Let me put it like this. Your hand is a hand, obviously, your grip. But the number of cards in that hand is constantly changing as you install your T400s and your Super Corridors. And you actually want to hold more than your hand because you want to overdraw with Maggie. So that's one hand. Your bin is also a hand. So your simul chips need to pull programs back from the bin, meaning you always have access to those things. Your Muse can also pull things from the bin. So you need a certain number of programs in your bin to start the combo because each simul chip needs to be able to present something at instant speed. So your bin, second hand. Your deck is also a hand because your gachapons can rifle through that deck, and as long as you know every card that's in it, which you need to be constantly keeping track of, you'll be able to know which cards you can RFG, which cards you can shuffle back, and which important combo pieces you can install on your In the Groove turn. So your bin's another hand. Each of your read-write shares, and you should have like 2 installed usually, if you possibly can. If you can find them turn 1, 2, 3, 4, you definitely want to install them so that by turn 7 or 8, when you want to be guaranteeing the combo, they're like relatively stocked up. Each of those is also a hand because you pop one of them before your gachapons if you've managed to put some important installables on it. That way your gachapons can fetch them at instant speed and you don't need to spend a click playing them from your hand. And then once you've drawn through your deck, your other read-write share is going to pop to fill up your deck with more combo events like Illuminations and Katorga Breakouts and Ashen Epilogue to put those in so you can draw them within the groove, and that's going to be, a new set of cards for you to start using at that phase of the turn. This is overwhelmingly difficult to keep track of. On top of the MU issue, MU is just unbelievably difficult to constantly keep tracking, actual paper play. It's even difficult online, but at least JNet will like tell you when you're doing something wrong. In paper play, you just need to be keeping track of an ever-changing number of MU, up to 10 MU in the current list. It's very difficult. But okay, that's one thing. And also the combo's weird. That's another thing. You need to have intimate knowledge about paid ability windows to do things like making sure that you can pre-hush, you can spree at the right windows, you can do all that sort of thing. It's tough, but that is, manageable if you're already good at like Arasana. You shouldn't have too much trouble with that. There's when do you do the combo? When do you have enough pieces to make everything work? This is a huge amount of counting, and you really don't want to be wasting time because you don't want to waste your opponent's time. The combo is also going to take a very long time to resolve. There's credit tracking. This deck has 3 creative commissions and 1 sure gamble. And that's it. That's all the money you have. Anything that you do that costs more than that is out of the question. You have about enough leniency to trash 1 uniced Charlotte if they like just do Charlotte Lacosta as their first 2 clicks. That you should trash the Charlotte, I think, in that case. But anything more expensive than that, you don't even consider it. You can't clear tags. You can't interact in any way. You have enough credits to install your MU, and that's it. So be careful with them. And then throughout the combo turn, you're going to be getting up to like 60 in the groove triggers. You need to be making sure that you're are you drawing a card or are you gaining credit with each of them? Basically, all of them need to be correct. So intensely difficult to find out when you can do the combo and execute the combo and keep track of where all your cards are on top of doing all your triggers correctly. So massively difficult just to calculate that. Tracking your clicks is very difficult because you spend a click to play Illumination. You summon the Peter Chow onto the cards. I mean, you saw the game. The turn takes a long time. It's obviously complicated, but as difficult as it looks that it is, it's more difficult than that. Totally fried my brain. I don't expect to see this deck become popular ever because the baseline level of competence you need to even be able to pilot it at all means that you're already such a good player, you could probably be playing just about anything and winning with it. So it's going to be difficult to quantify how good this deck truly is. And another thing, you might have mentioned, noticed some ban discussions, I might have included in the thumbnail or something. Should this deck exist? And if so, in what environment should it exist? Because I don't know if you noticed, but the game that I played for you on stream had more time me doing the combo than me doing anything else and my opponent doing anything else. The combo started on my turn 7, and that single turn 7 for me took substantially longer than the entire first part of the game. Specifically, I got the numbers here. The setup, which is both players taking their actions, me and my opponent playing the game normally, took about 11 minutes to do. The combo, as in my last turn of the game, took about 24 minutes to do. That's more that's more than double the entire actual regular part of the game. And during that time, my opponent was able to take basically no actions. So it was literally just me playing solitaire for 24 minutes. Now, we didn't end up running in on to actual time in the round issues, although that's makes the discussion a bit more interesting. But that is maybe just not a fun experience to exist in Netrunner. Maybe that's just an undesirable thing to have be possible. And I would understand that perspective. I think it's not unreasonable to just say, I don't think that should be something that exists in Netrunner. That is for other games where maybe the communities are a bit different. And yeah, okay, if that's your opinion, I think that's not unreasonable. I don't have a strong counter argument to say, yes, this must be in the game. If Peter Chow or Illumination or In the Groove get banned, just to get rid of this deck and say that this nonsense is no longer possible, I would say, okay, that's fine. But there's a further discussion to that, because getting a card banned because a deck is too good, I don't think that's happening. I don't think you can make a case that this deck is so overwhelmingly powerful that it shouldn't exist. But you could make a case that the deck is so toxic that it shouldn't exist, and this is not fun enough. And I would be happy to get a card banned. That would tickle me pink. Another discussion though is that perhaps this is logistically not something that should be in the game, and we should implement organized play rules around this fact. Because the way that tournaments work in Netrunner is that there's about 40 minutes. It's the standard amount of time for a game to take. Once you're at that point, the judge says, time on the round, finish your turn, then your opponent can finish their turn, and then that's it. With the expectation that finish your turn is not that big of a deal. Well, if my games took a bit longer, if it was a really slow, grindy matchup for some reason, finish your turn for me could be another 20 minutes of play. Well, I'm not playing deliberately slowly. I'm playing as fast as I can. I'm like, there are slow play rules which can get you game losses. They don't apply here. It may simply be like not logistically reasonable to expect everyone to wait around for me to finish my 20-minute turn that started just before time was called, and often requires an entire judge's worth of attention. Technically, the judge doesn't have to be there. They only need to respond to judge calls, but not having a judge there is going to be risky because the turn will take even longer. The judges often help it. Like in my games, the judge actually helps me manage the clicks, not because I couldn't do it. I was doing it. It's just faster to have someone else help. And I'm taking perfectly legal actions. I'm not slow playing anything, but out of respect for my opponent, so they don't have to sit through such a long amount of time, the judge was helping me manage my clicks, and also making sure that the game state remained legal so that we didn't have to waste further time on a judge call. Remember, during this combo turn, there was a judge call that took up a couple of minutes, I think. It was not especially long, but yeah, in the middle of the turn, there was a detrimental judge call on me for an illumination I didn't shuffle in with the Ashen. That's just the example of something that can happen during this turn, which is not a game loss. It's not even really a warning. It's just a fix. The turn takes too long. It is not particularly fun for your opponent, and it presents genuine logistical issues for tournament structure if multiple people were to play this at a tournament. With just me, didn't cause any issues. There were enough judges to go around. There was enough time that I didn't cause any like big delays. But if 3 people were playing this at a tournament, yeah, we could see some serious, genuine, serious organized play issues. So there's some talk about either we ban a card or we implement or change new organized play rules so that there is a standard for what to do about this style of deck. And a great man once said, a good player can get a card banned, a great player can get the rules changed. So if I can get a rule changed for my deck, that would be very funny. Both as a player and as a content creator, that is just hilarious. I hope you enjoyed that deck showcase and this video. It was a lot of effort to put the deck together, I can tell you that. This series of like I build alternate deck ideas is not so easy to do. It takes me a lot of time to create these decks and these videos. So I would really appreciate if you would leave it a like or subscribe, or whatever. Or show your Netrunner friends. I'm sure it'll be interesting, even though I think most people basically could not play this deck. It is too complicated, and I haven't even got into like the inner mechanisms of how everything works exactly, just because that's probably a video in and of itself. Maybe I'll drop like a tips and tricks video for it as well if people seriously want to give this a jam. I'd also recommend do not play this online against people who you don't know. I did a little bit to test it, and I maybe shouldn't have done that, but I needed to for practice. But yeah, it's brutal. You will turn people off Netrunner if you introduce them to the game through this method. So don't do that. But do play it and have fun with your friends, because it is a unique thing that you may only be able to do for a limited time, and I mean, there's no other runner like it, right? So if you love a puzzle, you love your brain feeling like Swiss cheese, give it a go. It'll be linked in the description, of course. Only other takeaway from the video is go to your districts and support your Netrunner scene, because the most fun part about playing the deck was the people around me watching, cheering, and hanging out and talking to them afterwards. It was just a blast. You should go to your local in-person Netrunner stuff whenever you can. Awesome. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.